You want the secret bunker? And needs ventilation for poison gas? Ooh. Will it hold lots of juice? No? Oh well. It's the Watchers on the Couch. Welcome to the Watchers on the Couch, Better Call Saul edition. We are a recap podcast covering Better Call Saul. And in our podcast, we recap, break down the episode, look for Breaking Bad Easter eggs, and have some jokes and laugh along the way. You can give us feedback by email to mike@watchersonthecouch.com.
Oh.
We got that now.
Yeah.
Or visit the Facebook page. It's called A Couch for Watchers. That's our group page. And be sure to visit watchersonthecouch.com and onyxedgestudios.com for more podcasts and info about us. I am Mike Daffron.
I am Jimmy Lopez.
And we're covering this episode 5, season 4, called Quite a Ride. What'd you think of the episode, Jimmy?
First off, before we get into the episode, we did get some listener feedback. Apparently, I guess I get too excited about this podcast and I say the F word too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not told to watch my mouth this week, but I'm going to have to watch my mouth this week because this episode was fucking amazing.
I've not noticed that you say it too much, but I do know that I say like way too much. Listening back to it sometimes, I'm like,
you're doing it right now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to work on that.
I noticed when I was first starting off on Bacon and A's originally, I was definitely saying like a lot. Now I catch myself saying things like as I was saying but you'll get better at it.
All right.
At least
maybe.
Like I hope so.
I hope so. Maybe if I don't get better at it, I'll just talk like that.
Just Valley Girl it up.
Yeah. And Jimmy, I just want to let you know that I think I want to call this segment the Appeals Court.
Okay.
Instead of listener feedback, I'm going to call it the Appeals Court.
Okay. So the Appeals Court has ruled that I say fuck and fucking too much. So I will try to watch my mouth or stop myself from using those words so much. It's hard growing up in a family where my father is a factory worker and every other word out of his mouth is that, and I have slowly saw myself turning into him, and I don't like it at all. It's unfortunate, but I am turning into my father, so...
Yeah, those things can happen.
But, so now that the appeals court is over...
It's not over. I have one more thing, because last episode, I was talking about how I didn't remember where the RV came from.
Yeah.
Well, they don't show where Jesse actually buys it from until season 3. Like it's basically like kind of a whole episode.
Yeah.
And I didn't reach that point yet.
Oh, okay.
On the rewatch. I mean, so like I said, it's been quite a while since I've seen, Breaking Bad. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's why I didn't remember any of it. And I got to that point and I was like, oh, that's why I didn't remember.
The strip club?
Yep.
I told you it's the closest that you'll get to titties because they put, they had pasties on.
Yep.
So,
it's definitely pretty risque for just basic cable, but,
well, it's, I guess it's technically not basic cable. I still think it's an add-on. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't. So, well, I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe it's only included in certain packages. So I guess you could say it's an add-on. But really, cable companies don't have to do
packages.
Oh, yeah,
hot take right there.
But I'm pretty sure that cable companies, any
You're paying for it.
Yeah.
So
they don't actually have to, they're not required to do anything by the FCC because you're paying for it.
I always find it really odd in the very few times that they did it during Breaking Bad, when you would hear them say fuck and it's not censored, it would always throw me off because I'm like, wait, they do that? But I guess I never really realized or thought about, well, it's not basic television, so...
Well, it's only on broadcast television. The reason these laws could have changed, but as far as I know, like, my knowledge comes from like 10 years ago. So laws could have changed for sure. But as far as I know, it's only broadcast that's regulated by the FCC and has to, obey certain rules because the broadcast signal comes in your home without you even wanting it to, type of thing.
Okay.
But cable, you pay for it. And basically, like, cable only follows along because of advertisers.
Like those old black boxes that certain people had because they knew somebody that worked for the cable company. It's like, hey, just go ahead and plug this into the wall right here, and it gives you everything.
Yep.
What?
Friends for charter?
Or I remember back in the day.
Or before that? You're talking about before that?
Before that, when satellite television went from those massive dishes that would turn, that would catch me watching the porno previews because my dad's like, listen, I know what you were doing last night, boy. What are you talking about, Dad? Well, I know those channels are all the way over on the left-hand side, and the satellite took 30 minutes to get over there, so I know what you were doing. I don't know what you're talking about, Dad. I don't know what you're talking about. But, yeah, I remember having friends and relatives that had those the cards that went into the satellite dishes that were opened up so that you could have everything, including like boxing pay-per-views when those were still relevant.
Oh
yeah. I remember watching, it was like UFC 2 or 3 on one of those. I was a fucking little kid at that point. Just watching dude get his arm fucking broke. Oh, there goes one. There goes one F word. But getting his arm broke and it just being like, okay, well, next fight. That was almost cussed again, but that was brutal back then. Because now, the second that somebody gets in an armbar, they're like, oh, I quit. I have a career I have to fucking think. Damn it! I have a career I have to think about. So,
well, you need to quit this story right now. I'm gonna put you in an arm bar so we can get to the episode.
All right.
A long story long over here.
I know.
About satellite dishes. That took about as long as that satellite dish had to move over. I didn't have that. I guess that's Mexican privilege.
It must be. I don't know if it's privilege considering we were stealing satellites. So.
All right, so the appeals court is adjourned. All right, so we open up with
one of the best openings I think I've ever seen on this show.
I've seen better openings before.
Well, I'm sure you have, because I'm still a virgin. But I have to give this a round of applause. Did not see this coming at all.
Yep.
And of course I want to make that "what's in the box" joke, but I am curious to know what he was cutting out of the wall. And I'm under the assumption that it's probably like his little VHS tapes or something.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
But there's the cell phones. He opens it up, makes a call, tries to get the Hoover. And then, of course, he has to pat Francesca on the ass by giving her 2 big old wads of cash to keep her mouth shut.
He looks so pathetic for the second one. Like, she was like giving him the eye, like, this ain't enough. He's like, fine.
Like, he looked terrified.
Yeah. And Francesca wouldn't give him a hug. He's like, yeah, no.
Dude, In Breaking Bad, he was constantly flirting with her, and she was not taking his shit ever. I want to know where that point was, where she just was basically there for the paycheck because she know that the money was good.
Yeah.
Because that she blackballed him into paying a lot of money because she knew shit. Oh, she's known shit.
She knows basically everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she never looked happy,
No.
and it's so weird too, because when she first starts with like Wexler and McGill, she's just all chipper to finally be out of the not the DMV. What do they call theirs?
I forgot.
I did.
I remember
Yeah,
the scene when they hired her.
but it's not the DMV. It's something else, and then she goes into that whole it's just a bureaucratic blah 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 blah. And Jimmy's all into it, and Kim's just like, shut the fuck up. Let's get on with the next interview. And you hired. Whoa, whoa, what is going on? But I also thought it was funny that he's poking into the drop ceiling looking for a bowling bag of cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. Like, that's the one. Like, that's the bowling ball. Just going bowling. Maybe it's because when he carries it, he's balling.
Who knows? It's slipping Jimmy, so.
And then he wants to know where like the razor knife is, and he doesn't, I guess, remember in his frantic state. He doesn't remember the name of it, and like he does this motion with his hand, almost like he's blowjobbing away. And she's like, "Use your words."
Yeah, it's something that I would totally say too, and it's something that I would do is completely blank on what I'm trying to get across when I'm frantic. I would totally do something like that.
Yeah.
But I guess that would be pretty much right after he gave the card to Walter, I assume.
I think so. Yeah, I would assume so. And then he gives a card to Francesca and says, tell them Jimmy sent you. He doesn't say tell him Saul sent you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not that big a deal. But there is something. He says, be there. Where are you going to be on November 12th at 3 p.m.? Well, I'm curious to find out what that's going to be. So, guess she has to be by a phone, probably a payphone or something, waiting for a call.
The spot.
I have no idea what's going to happen there, but
I wonder if
hopefully we'll see
her.
that.
I would say I wonder if we'll see her getting picked up. I hope so.
I'm assuming we'll see that this season. So,
what if they ran away to Cinnabon World together?
I'm here, baby.
And then she ends up leaving him for a fucking Orange Julius manager down the courtyard.
Oh.
Which is why he's sitting in the apartment drinking highballs by himself. All fat and shit. He's just bummed out. Love of his life fucking left him. Not even love of his life, but...
It's the only person he has.
Has left him for the guy that manages the Orange Julius.
And one that's mixed with Dairy Queen. Like, it can't be even on its own.
Oh.
Yep.
No, I was blown away by that intro, mostly because I didn't see it coming. I think it's another reason why the IMDb, and now mind you, we're only 2 days after it. This one was rated, low 9s, 9.2. So it's much better than watching paint dry from the episode before, but totally just out of nowhere, did not see that coming, that we get that little glimpse of that moment in time that was a treat. For sure. Yeah,
I didn't think they would do flashbacks like that. I didn't think that was going to happen. That because they haven't done flashbacks like that, have they? I don't think so. No, they definitely haven't.
Not from the Breaking Bad world per se.
Right.
Which also kind of bums me out because it just kind of really pushes the point that we're getting close. Mm-hmm. Which I've said before, I'm happy. I don't want them to make this a 13 season thing. I think 5, maybe 6, be done.
Yeah, I'd be fine with 5. They could probably do 6, or they could do fucking. Maybe I'm gonna have to watch my. Maybe they'll do what they did on Breaking Bad, and it's like, oh no, this is the last season, and they break it up into 2 different ones.
Yeah,
that pissed me off so bad. One, because I didn't know.
Oh, really?
So I was watching the season, and it got to season 8, and then I'm waiting next week for season 9. I'm like, where's it at? Nowhere to be found. And then I had to look it up. I'm like, That's 2 different seasons. That's not the same season. Like, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. I came in so late that I noticed right away when I turned the box of the DVD over, and I was like, this is significantly shorter than the other ones.
All right.
But I had lucked out because I did wait so long that it was right around the time where I guess I had started DVRing them, and I think I only had to wait like 1 or 2 weeks before the end. So like I was still caught up, catching up until the very end. So I think I watched the finale live, or I did that wait 20 minutes so I could fast forward through commercials, and it was because it was an extended episode. I ended up having to wait through some commercials, but worth it.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I said flashbacks. I mean flash forwards.
Oh, yeah, I guess it would be a flash forward.
Yeah, we don't have to do an appeals court on that one. All right, let's next scene. Jimmy's at CC Mobile, and he does his little like magic trick to get the truck to stop, which he's done like multiple times and different. Guy walks in and gets doing a little under the table work. Maybe when he's a contractor trying to hide from the IRS.
Yeah, not putting everything on his books.
And not too much on this scene, really. I mean, that I got out of it. I guess it was just set up to show him selling them and, showing every lick and tittle.
Every lick and tittle?
That's what he says.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he has a bunch of little phrases. Information hygiene.
Well, he's such a weasel because he takes the phone and there's clearly nobody on it.
Yeah,
and he's talking to nobody. Hold on 1 second, sir. Look, I can only hold 15 of these things for you. Okay, maybe I can hold 16 of them for you, or however he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Puts them off to the side, and then he puts that stupid little sign on it that says, "Please hold for her."
Oh, and then he breaks his phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He snapped that son of a bitch in half.
Mm-hmm.
Which, pretty sure he didn't pay for that.
Yeah. And I'll have to rewatch some of these, like, phone breaking scenes. I know when he breaks his phone at the beginning scene, the flash forward, he basically only breaks off the, like, LCD screen. The rest of it's fine. You can still get the information off of it.
Yeah, it's still different time.
Completely unwatchable, number one.
There it is, right there. There it is. You got the first one out of the way.
Because you replace, like, I think you can replace stuff like that, like the LCD screens. And
plus,
anyway.
I was pretty sure that the phone that he was saying that was a throwaway phone was kind of like the one that I'm holding in my hand. It didn't look like a flip phone. It looked like an old Palm Pilot or something.
Was it? I thought it was a flip phone.
Once again, I could be wrong on that. Don't hold me to that.
All right. Might have to come back to the appeals court on that one.
Okay.
So then we cut to the Super Lab, which I kind of knew was coming because the amazing people on Reddit, I think, figured it out. I think they had like a crossword puzzle or something on AMC's website.
Okay.
Or something like that. And then people figured it out that eventually it spelled out Super Lab. And I'm like, oh, all right. We're going to see something about Super Lab. And so we see, I get them going for a ride with the French dude.
Now, was he French?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I couldn't tell what his accent was.
I think he was supposed to be a French dude. And during the ride, like, Mike should have just been like, hey, there's a handle to your right side down lower, just to make him grab his dick.
It ain't the girl that he wants, bro. That's what it is. He's the reason that, that's why he's pissed off, right? Because Gus is making him do this, and it's taken away from times that he could be in sweet, sweet Love Town.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I could be at the diner right now, trying to get into a three-way, but I gotta do this shit.
Before the French guy even well, he has to be on the side of the road. He's like, put a hood on. Yeah, you need to put a white hood on and this white cloak. Yeah, it's a pointy white.
No, it was a black hood.
Oh,
It was black.
thought I was watching something else. Football season's coming up, so
Hot take right there. Hot take number 2. All right.
guess I see enough of those people online that it's in my head.
So, this was something that I was hoping, but when he gets off the Greyhound or whatever, and he's in the parking lot and he's walking through the cars, I was like, oh man, let's see an Aztec.
Oh yeah,
let's see an Aztec. And I thought that they were gonna finally slowly pan up to one, but they didn't.
No.
But there's those fucking Haida keys
I know.
that seem to be abundant in both these shows.
Yep.
Everybody's got Haida keys, so.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of makes sense because it seems like they've got bug out cars at all kinds of places. I assume that that's like an airport or a bus station long-term parking thing. So
yeah, that's what it looks like.
So,
and I think they're pretty far away. I forgot where it says that they are, but I think they're like hours away. Like,
well, the license
hours
plate,
and hours
the
away.
license plate's in Colorado, but that doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. I would assume maybe they did go that far out of their way. You know, so you can't track them back.
Well, that's the thing that's weird too. Sitting there, hold on, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. It's in a city, so what are they fucking going over? Curbs?
I don't know, trying to distract them, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, just going around weird road. They could have been doing circles. I don't know.
It's true. Anything to where, and anybody that's ever done a job like that, or has cut safes into people's foundations, and they're all about being discreet anyway. Mm-hmm. So I've always found that odd that you could pay somebody to come to your house and put a hidden wall safe, but they know it's there.
Yeah.
So that would always make me just be untrusting, being like, I know that somebody knows that this is here.
Yep. At least one person does.
At least one.
Yep.
So
maybe it's a German guy who gets murdered.
Oh. Okay. Before we skip to that guy, let's go back to Mr. French.
All right, back to Mr. Frenchie.
What do you think? What do you think the reasons were that Gus said no?
I think one reason is that the biggest factor for him doing the job was money and more money. 2, he told them about a different job that he did, basically like blabbing away about something he was supposed to keep secret. So why wouldn't he do that, to somebody else about Gus's project? And he's French, so he probably hated him. Nobody likes Frenchies.
Whoa.
Sorry if you're French.
Whoa. My 23andMe. I have a lot of German French in me, sir.
Right. They don't separate it. Like,
no.
I'm mostly French German. I'm like, well, which one?
Yeah.
Which I know I'm mostly German.
I am
because
too.
of my
Yeah.
background, but yeah. What do you think?
I thought it was that he was relying too much on specific instruments.
It's a laser measurer.
Yeah, I thought that it was more along the lines of he's more of just a engineer and he's never practically done it before.
Mm-hmm.
That was just kind of is my thing.
Yeah,
was when you've got somebody that I hate because of one of the places where I work. Well, the place that I work, you get all these people that they come in and they've never done a single job like laying a floor in their entire life, but they've got their tape measure on their belt and they're measuring all of the widths of everything, and it's like it says it right there on the tag. They're just I just need to make sure.
Make sure you're not cheating me.
Yeah. So
hey, this 2x4 is 1.5 by 3.5.
I wonder if that lawsuit ever got settled, because that's just ridiculous. Anyway, that's way off topic. That was my thought process. was that he's never practically done this. He's more of just a engineer, a design guy.
I mean, he really didn't take that much time. Like, to compared to the German guy, you see the German guy, he's taken a lot more time.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing it more old school, but
that was my other thing, was that he's doing all kinds of stuff on a computer, which in my train of thought would be it's easier to basically get that information ripped off of a computer. And
yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah.
So when you see somebody that comes in with an old notepad and they got their old Zebra stainless steel, what are those mechanical pencils?
Or Ice Station Zebra.
Yeah.
Mechanical pencil. I actually have those mechanical pencils because I use them for work, because they come in like 2mm lead, so they're real thick. I like them thick.
Oh, see, I like it thin. I like it real thin.
You need like the normal, like 0.7
Point
or
0,
0.9.
0.5.
0.5.
I like the 0.5.
Oh.
I like the 0.5. Yeah, this is riveting, by the way. But no, I just thought that it was more along the lines of, well, okay, I like the fact that he's more hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it came down to, where the other guy, his plans could be stolen off of his laptop at any time.
Yeah. Well, the German guy took more time and took more notes and looked in detail into more things. Like, he tested out the strength of the concrete. That was one simple thing.
Yeah, first thing he said was, well, I've got to support the weight of this entire floor. So I need to run I-beams this way and do this.
He explained the difficulties, explained the problems that they're going to run into, like, not just, oh, no, yeah, I can do it, no problem, as long as you give me money. He did say, the German guy did say, yeah, it will be really expensive, but he also explained the difficulties of it, and he seemed more passionate about it, too. Like, he really wanted to build, I want to build the bunker!
Yeah.
Ooh, this'll be fun.
It also seemed like the German wasn't asking questions, whereas the other guy, he was more. It's not that he was asking questions, but he was kind of being like, well, the cartel, they had me do this, you know what I mean? So I could be trusted. A wink, wink, and a nudge, nudge.
Right.
But
the German guy's like, oh, normally this could be done with pile driving from over the top, like I do back in my Germany with the pawn. Pile drive? No.
German dungeon porn is the weirdest thing, man.
It's going to take me about 200 loads.
I really am curious how the hell they would do that without anybody seeing.
I have no clue. Like, seems impossible.
It seems impossible to me too. Like they said before, this would have been a hell of a lot easier if you'd have just done this first. And then we could have worked on top of that. But
I'm pretty sure this guy, the German guy, said "Awesome and Scheiße," because he was like frustrating. He's like "Awesome and Scheiße." He's like, and then he says in English, difficult. I'm almost positive. It doesn't say it in the subtitles. All it says is speaking German.
That's what okay. Okay. That's what I was hoping it would actually say what it was in German. So, but it literally translated to speaking in German on TV.
Yeah. There was no Dewey.
Explain to me this. Why is it that whenever Spanish is on TV, it doesn't say speaking in Spanish?
I think it just depends if it's, I don't know, I guess needed, if that dialogue is purposeful.
Maybe he didn't say what he was actually.
I don't know.
Es Lichtensteigen. What did he just say? Just translate it to German.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, make it say whatever.
He just ad-libbed it. I don't know.
All right. Well, yeah, so he chooses the German guy. I wonder if we'll...
Here's a question for you. When he called Mike and he said, nope, we're not, nope, we ain't going with this guy. Do you think he was in the laundry at the time?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
He was hiding in a laundry basket. peeking out, just above, like. What?
I like peeked my head above the mic, looked to the left and right, and then went back down. Doesn't work on a podcast medium, but
right. Worked for me.
Yeah,
so.
you saw it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was cute. It really was.
Sure. Maybe we'll see that being built. I mean, for me, really, it's kind of cool. Like, oh, cool. We kind of see how the lab gets built or the beginnings of it. But I don't know. I don't really care, like, how it was built. It's not really needed for me in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess I don't see the purpose, but I'm assuming that will have a purpose. Like, maybe...
it can't be completed anytime soon because and I almost said F, but Jesse and Walter are the ones putting the lab together. Well, and that... Fuck, what episode is that? I mean, that's in season probably 3 or 4.
Jesse and Walter putting the super lab together?
Yeah.
Gail put all that together. That was all done before Walter even... Like, when Walter first walked into the lab, it was already done.
That's right.
Everything was still brand new and wrapped up. It was
right.
never used. Gail put all that stuff together.
You're right.
So but it does show a timeline, that there's a good purpose there to, I guess, kind of see where we are. And I mean, I don't care. I mean, I enjoyed the scene. I'm just saying, just saying.
I for some reason had it in my head, and I don't know why, that Jesse and Walter put that together. Like I said, I don't know why. I completely forgot that Gail already had everything ready.
Mm-hmm. And delicious coffee.
Sleepy time coffee.
Yeah.
Slit your throat good coffee right there.
But all right, so then let's move on. We see Kim at the court. She talks down Bill, the prosecuting attorney that Jimmy's always going back and forth with.
Yep.
And Bill says he invented chicken. I bet Gus would be like,
I beg to fucking differ, motherfucker. Damn it.
But it works out because Kim says that he wasn't read his Miranda rights before basically they kind of got a confession out of him. I think the kid's name was David Estrada. Doesn't he own Chips?
That's Eric Estrada.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think he owns them, but he was on a television show called Chips.
Yeah, that's what I said, right?
No.
He was on Chips? What'd I say?
I'm pretty sure you said he was on Chips, but my brain heard that he
Own?
owned Chips.
He owns Chips, right?
Yeah, a big old bag of them.
Yeah, maybe he owns some Funyuns, or are Funyuns considered chips? Would you put it in a chip category?
I would, but it's...
I would.
Yeah. Funyuns are delicious. I'm just going to, for the record, Funyuns, my kind of thing.
Don't like them.
Especially when they're the flaming hot kind.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like super flaming hot?
Like awesomely flaming hot.
Like red hot? Like Jimmy needs to get out? Not you, Jimmy.
I was going to say, all right,
Jimmy McGill.
I'm out.
Like, how hot is it? It's red hot. Yeah. Get me out of here, vacuum cleaner guy. We don't need to go back to that.
That guy's got such a shitty life.
Back in this scene,
yeah.
That kid's a fucking asshole.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to punch that kid in the face. Like, he was going to do maybe 18 months jail time, and he only got 4 months probation. And he's
Kim,
like, "They're going to have probation officer?"
Yeah.
Which Kim would have slapped the shit out of him.
Boy, Kim put her dick on the table real hard.
Yep.
Didn't take any shit. And was like, all right, well, we'll just go ahead. We'll take this. You're going to be made a fool of, and the department's going to be made a fool of, and that's going to be fine because the law wasn't followed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was sweating bullets.
I want to know if this kid, if we'll see him again, and somehow he is going to commit another crime that really integrates into the show, like, and somehow affects Kimmy or Jim or somebody else.
Possibly. Because... It's really random that, first off, why is she helping this kid? That's
kind of something we could talk about because I was kind of confused about
I am
this
too.
whole season. I still am a little bit
About
but
her role. I'm really.
I guess I was thinking about it. I'm like, maybe she, partly because Chuck died, maybe she's thinking about her own mortality and seeing the bank, seeing Kevin, I think that's his name, from Mesa Verde, show all the new places that they're going to be. And she's just like, fuck, this is going to be my life. Like being a lawyer for a bank. And like, this is boring as fuck. This is not what I want to do. I'm not making a difference as a lawyer. This is the reason I wanted to become a lawyer. And it's
a good point.
And maybe that's why, because it seems like she's kind of doing pro bono work and helping people out. Later, we see her trying to help another girl out
on drugs.
Yeah, to get to court. So under 2 ounces.
Yeah, and that's whenever she picks up the phone and she's like, "I can't be there till 4." So, I think you're onto something there. I think your drunken theory is starting to make a lot of sense to me. Because it just, once again, later down the road, well, in the episode, a mistake was filed and nobody was there to fix it. So they had to pull their own lawyers in, which I find hilarious. What do you mean we got to pull our own lawyers in to do this job? I mean, you have lawyers. What are they doing? Sharpening pencils and stocking Post-it notes so that Kim can just put them all over your office when she comes over?
Another thing I was thinking of as far as a theory was that Kim, let's say Mesa Verde is dirty. Let's say that maybe Kim knew it almost the whole time, that they're dirty, use dirty money. Kim just kept going with it because she knew that's all she had. She had to stick with them. And then now after Chuck dying, she's like, and seeing the expansion and how much more dirty money they're using and expanding. And she's like, I can't fucking do this. This is not the right thing to do.
Dirty money. I would say that it's just dirty politics. Because the whole thing was, when she goes out there with that proposal, when she went to break her arm, it was all about basically strong-arming everybody around that oil into giving up as little, like the client paying as little for all that for all those resources as possible, basically screwing everybody else to get her client ahead.
Yeah, I forgot about that other oil company, dude. Because that's basically the reason she got in a car accident.
Because she took on that job for the other guy, because it was like his friend. She was highly recommended, so she went to go do that.
All right, yeah, cancel that theory.
So maybe she just sees that even though they're within the law, they're playing dirty and choking out little small businesses to gain themselves, and she isn't okay with that. So maybe taking on these pro bono cases is her way of penance.
Yeah. Hey, when did the first Judge Dredd come out? I wish that'd be awesome watching them watch Judge Dredd
instead of because they both seem to really enjoy old like Dr. Zhivago. What was?
I've never watched that. I don't even know what it is.
It's not my style. So I'm more, give me like the Universal monsters. Give me old horror. That's my style. I like B movies, and
I'm more of a Golden Girls type of guy. That's what I would have watched, because just below it was a Golden Girls marathon.
It was. Judge Dredd was 95.
Sweet. So they could be watching Judge Dredd at some point, and then Jimmy could just be like, I am.
Oh man,
he could practice.
It was last season whenever she takes Francesca to the Best Buy or the Blockbuster, and she's renting every single movie. I loved that some of the new releases were old fucking movies. But just that scene reminded me of how I worked at a movie store, and it was like that. Yeah. Kind of miss. I wish the movie stores were still around.
I don't.
I do.
Well, I like renting my stuff on Amazon or buying my stuff online. I do kind of miss physical copies, but just because if Amazon goes out of business or wherever I buy movies from, when they go out of business, it's gone. I don't have a physical copy of it.
Well, that's, from my understanding, is it's kind of like a lot of things. When a company is struggling and they start selling off their properties, the company that's taking it on takes on the warranties and everything like that. So, places like Amazon, Netflix, they've only got a limited run. They've got, we can show this movie for X amount of days, and that's it. And then it goes back to whoever owns it, Universal or whatever. The problem is, once things like Netflix went away from physical CDs to streaming, and then everyone started seeing that streaming was popular.
And possible.
Now everyone and their mother's like, well, why do I want to stream on your platform? I'm just going to have my own. So now everything has a streaming service for $10 a month.
Yep.
So all the cord cutters are now paying 5 times as much to have.
Yeah, I just got an email that so I subscribed to Hulu, and then I added on the Showtime. It was like $8.99. Well, now it's like $11.99. I'm like, for fucking Showtime? It's like, that's some bullshit. Like, just for Showtime? Well, I do pay like $15 a month for HBO, but HBO's like fucking way better. And it's on its own app.
I can tell you right now, there's like one show on Showtime that I even care about anymore. Shameless. That's really it. At some point in the near future, I will finally sit down and watch Game of Thrones, and hopefully the wait was worth it.
You can do the same thing, just like with Breaking Bad, because next year will be the last, so you can binge it and then just about catch up and watch the last season, you son of a bitch.
But what happens when one episode in, I'm kind of like with the last podcast that I just did for Bacon and Nays, Chris was like, so where are you at now? You're caught up, right? I'm like, no, I'm still on episode 5. Oh, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm not digging it. So, Oh, well, I told him, like you said, well, give it a couple more. It might turn you around. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. And he goes, that's a no. He's like, I know you. That means you're not going to watch it. And I was like, no, I probably will. But I guarantee you it will be way over, probably into season 2 before I ever pick it back up.
Well, Game of Thrones, you can watch, you have to at least get up to season 5, because that's when me, Tim, and Sarah started doing Watchers on the Couch for Game of Thrones.
Which started this whole thing.
Started it all.
The OGs. Without them, this would not be possible.
Word. Right.
Mad respect.
This thing's going to go on forever.
All right. So,
like, are you going to talk about the show?
All right. Let's talk about the show.
Maybe we'll have to add that in at the beginning. Sometimes we go off the rails and don't talk about the show at all. All right. So, they were watching Dr. Zhivago. How do you say that? Zhivago.
Dr. Django.
Dr. Zhivago?
Sure. I'm okay with that.
I don't really know if that was German. That didn't sound too German.
It's a much better German accent than I've got.
But Jimmy gets bored, and basically, I mean, that's what I took from it. That he was bored and like, well, if Kim's not hanging out with me, then I think even if Kim was hanging out with him,
he would have done it?
Yeah, he still would have came up with some excuse. Or he would have done it, in quotes.
Not again.
Did we see the fish this episode?
If we did see the fish, it was like right
Real
off
quick.
camera, because the cameraman, when Kim set all of her stuff on the breakfast table, the breakfast bar area.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the camera was. So I mean, it was like right there.
So it was the fish filming it.
It was.
All right, I got you in frame, man. Action! So dumb.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
Love it. So, yeah, Jimmy goes out and he buys the phones first.
Mm-hmm.
So like he doesn't steal them or anything. So basically he's going to buy them. He's going to get the commission off of them legally. And then he's going to go out and upsell them.
So is he using the money that he got from?
Yes, I think so. Because I'm wondering. Oh no, it's not the same day. So yeah, but yeah, I'm assuming that's the money from the Hummel, from the Hummer.
Well, he considering what happens later in the episode, if he hasn't spent unless he's already paid off some credit card bills, he's still got some money to where he can do it again.
Yeah.
This time. Let's hope it doesn't end, when he does it again, let's hope it doesn't end the same way. But, so rolls up to these 3 punk ass kids outside of a laundromat, I assume. Was that what that was? A laundromat?
Yeah.
Hey, I got these here cell phones. Get away from here, narc.
Yeah.
Get out of here, narc. Go take your car back to the impound lot, narc.
Yep.
He's like, fuck you, motherfucker. Skirts out of there. He's driving along. This is why I was dying laughing. Jackie walked into the room and she's like, "What is so damn funny?" I'm like, "He's got fucking shape ups on." he puts his tracksuit on for whenever he was mall walking.
Yep.
With the shape ups.
Yep. His mall walker uniform.
I was dying.
It's like his hustle uniform.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
To the song Street Life.
Such good music.
By Randy Crawford and the Crusaders.
Oh, that right there. That's
Street Life.
That's a sweet band name, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
But holy shit, it just killed me that he comes walking out strutting his stuff, and when they pan up from the bottom, I'm like, for real?
He also gets it from the nail salon, so I guess he still pays her money. I wonder if he got some water, some cucumber water.
Oh, fucking just straight out of the spout, and then just wiping it with his tie, being like, "Fuck you,
yeah,
suck it." But goes to the doghouse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this really confused me. Does everybody that's up to no good in that town just hover around
Right.
the doghouse? Not to mention the poor old ladies that are like working there. He does the same thing. He pulls a phone like from out inside the track jacket. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but he's like, "Got this cell phone," and she's just like, "Yes, I want that."
Well, I mean, that late at night, I mean, they have to know that there's, a lot of, I guess, criminals hanging around, or maybe that's become the spot. Maybe the doghouse is, those owners are criminals too, basically, or something, or
could be.
They don't really care. I mean, it keeps because if those people don't come around, who the fuck is coming around,
Yeah.
to
a hot dog
after
joint?
10 o'clock or and later.
The lowlifes that are leaving bars.
Yeah.
I need to get something to eat. Oh, God. Let's go to the doghouse.
Well, Jesse was there in Breaking Bad, so he got his gun from there. I think there's another scene there too.
Kim and Jimmy go to the doghouse.
Oh, okay.
I think they go on one of their little mini dates to the doghouse, and I think, and of course, we might have to hold an appeals court on this one, where they pretty much get the idea for their joint venture.
Yeah, you might be right.
Like it was where the seed was planted, where we could do this together, type thing. But anyway, I just found it really odd that it seemed like every tweaker, every punk rocker,
every gay prostitute.
Yeah,
was that a prostitute? That guy in like those really tight pants? He pulls the money out of his shoes.
I thought so, but maybe it's just somebody living the dream. They're just living the dream.
Why you not judge somebody like that? How do you know he's a gay prostitute? Maybe he just likes dressing like that.
So I said maybe he's just living the dream. I mean, it ain't 2018 yet, but
right.
they were woke way before anybody else was. So
Yep. That's probably the metrosexual years around that time, right? It's probably earlier than that.
yeah, that was in the 90s when NSYNCs and stuff were popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I just found, like I said, I found it interesting that it seemed like every single lowlife in that town was just huddling around. And how many fucking cell phones? Because he's constantly going back to the trunk of his car. I'm giving people, one or two here and there, but then some of them are buying stacks of them.
Yep. Well, if inventory week is reloading the inventory, they just did it, so he has a ton of them.
Yeah. Well, if this night is any indication of what's to come, they're going to have way more inventories because he's moving product. So,
yep. Hey, he got robbed, but at least he still gets the commission.
Which, okay.
Except they're going to be like, why'd you buy them at like 9 o'clock at night? Who'd you sell them to at 9? We're closed.
I was wondering if those receipts would be time-stamped.
I would think they would be. I don't think it's that big a deal just because Jimmy could come out with something. He'd be like, I was at a bar talking to this guy and he needs them for this or that. He could easily come up with an excuse, especially because the owner might not even care.
Well, one of my first jobs I ever had was manning one of those registers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember a timestamp being on it.
Really?
I don't remember it.
All right.
But I mean, it was also for a concession stand, and it was like piece of Laffy Taffy, 50 cents.
No, but it's possible. It didn't seem like a real complicated machine.
No, it literally
It
you
looked
hit like
really,
four,
really simple as far as the receipt goes.
400, and then you hit the tax button, which automatically put your tax on it, and then you got your total.
Mm-hmm.
But he just bought a shit ton of them. So then he's got like maybe 6 of them left, and all of a sudden, here they come.
Fags.
Everyone is like, oh no, these are the real hard asses. Let's get the hell out of here. What does he do?
He goes over and sells some Geico insurance.
Well, he about dookied himself first. He said the same thing. Oh, hell no, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then gets in his car. And once again, it's like he looks himself in the mirror and he's just like, nut up, man. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Shake it off.
I can do it.
Yeah, shakes it off and he walks over and he's, where's your leader at? Of course, he didn't say it like that, but
Yep.
What's it to you? Look, I've got guys on the inside and listen, these things are so compact, you can stick a whole lot of these up your ass.
That's what I was going to say. They're so small, yeah, you stick up your ass.
This is the most compact model on the market. I'm like, yeah, what are you hinting at there? Come on, Jimmy. But
I had this phone up my ass 5 years.
But ends up selling them all.
One thing makes this show completely unwatchable. Number 2.
Okay.
Jimmy says, or if he doesn't say it, at least the subtitles say it, that they track you on landlines, and it's landline. So the subtitle said LAND. It's not land, it's LAN. Landline, local area network. Completely unwatchable.
God, this show's getting ridiculous.
And I really can't tell if Jimmy actually said it or
if it was a typo.
Somewhat, yeah.
It could be because you know that somebody,
fucking show.
You know that it's somebody's job to sit there and be like, I gotta type this bullshit out. Oh, I forgot to put. Oh, I added an extra D on that one. Okay, whatever. No one will fucking notice because who watches subtitles anymore? This is bullshit.
I'm gonna name this guy Dewey.
Maybe the show didn't even name him. The guy that's typing this up is like, this is my own little thing. Yep. Nobody's going to notice this. And Dewey said, ah! Insert Wilhelm scream.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
But now he's walking back to his car with a ass full of money. And what do these stanky juvenile delinquents do? They fucking mug him.
Yep. He gets rabbed, gets beat up. It looks like there was a stunt guy, too, for when they threw Jimmy to the ground and were kicking him.
Yeah,
I think it was a stunt guy.
He probably wasn't falling to the ground.
I don't see why. I wasn't. I don't know. I get it, but I had to rewind it and look. I couldn't tell, but it looks like a stunt guy. It looks like one of those angles that
they purposely hide his face so that when he falls down,
and when he falls, he also kind of covers his head, even though the camera's from the back.
Yeah,
like they do that thing where they always cover their face right when they fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but sometimes it doesn't work, and when they roll it, you can clearly see that's not him.
Yeah, I just want to know that the stunt guy's like, you want me to just fall to the ground from standing position? Though when I became a stunt guy, this would be exciting.
I wanted to jump off buildings and
and
climb skyscrapers.
No, that fucking Tom Cruise guy is doing all the stunts himself. God damn it.
Oh, fucking ruined it for everybody. Then you got The Rock.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I don't think The Rock can have stunt doubles, does he?
No, ain't nobody looking like The Rock.
Ugh.
So he gets his ass handed to him. Cut the next scene.
Yep, it's with Kim. Kim wastes a piece of ice. The bitch. Right next to the the Great Value waffles.
Now you go in there. You got one less ice cube to grab.
Yep.
You might as well just throw it on the floor and let it melt.
I mean, I guess it would still be good, but I mean, really, ice that's not in the ice tray and anywhere else, I don't want any part of that shit. That's impure now. Touch other stuff. All right, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. It could fall on the floor and I'd put it in my glass.
Yeah, Tim, Tim, Kim, Jim.
Where were you going with this?
I have no idea. So Kim takes care of Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Helps with his little wounds. No, I don't know.
So, it's so cold. Yeah, it's cold. It's ice. He brought up a good point, though. I do agree with him on this. Yeah, you call the cops. Then what? Now you got to go down to the police station. And does this look like the guy that mugged you? Does this look like the guy that mugged you? Does this look like the guy that mugged you? He's out at what, 2:00 in the morning? He needs to be back at the store by 7 a.m.
Yep. And they might not even be on record and have a picture.
Yeah.
You don't know. But I am looking forward. Hopefully Jimmy is going to get back at these mofos. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, think about the skateboarding twins.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, he ain't taking it lightly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not happening. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Because he did seem real fucked up about it. Like, he seemed sad. Like, because he is like, oh, man, back in the day, there's no way I would have let that happen. And then he's also like, yeah, I'm going to go see the shrink. He seems honest about it. Because he also goes to the store, CC Mobile, and takes all the paint off of the windows. But then he's at court, or I guess the courthouse or whatever, to see what
like a probation officer type thing.
Okay. I forgot the PPD or something like that. No idea what that stands for. He sees Howard, and Howard is not good.
Disheveled.
Yep. He's not wearing his normal cool looking suit.
Yeah, he doesn't have his super sweet cufflinks on. Was he even wearing a tie?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So whenever he goes to leave, he never even tightened the tie up and and button the top. He was going into court looking all half-assed.
I thought he ended up. No, he didn't. Oh, all right. So Jimmy asks him, like, I gotta know, what's eating at you, and Howard looks like he's going to tell him, but then remembers what Kim said to him. That's why I think he stopped. He's like, I shouldn't do this to Jimmy and tell him like all this shit that's bothering me, because I'm assuming he's all worked up about Chuck, and He's like, well, Kim told me that that's pretty fucked up to do, so I'm not going to do that to Jimmy. And that's why he stops. Do you think that's why?
I thought it was something a little different, but kind of along the same lines. That
You think his dick's broke and like he's all fucked up about that?
oh
It's
yeah,
like,
his dick is definitely broken.
I don't want to tell him about that.
That's
Can't believe I was going to tell him that.
for sure. He got a broke dick. That is for sure one thing that has happened.
That's why he's seeing a psychiatrist. I don't know why he's not working.
I think really what it came down to, just me personally, drunk theory of mine, is he caught himself opening up and he saw himself being vulnerable, and that's not him.
Yeah, because Jimmy will use it against him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought at first,
And
but
he's
second viewing I thought different.
different. Yeah, well, because I only watched it once, but it's because he makes the statement, I've already told you enough. So that was him saying, I already ran my mouth once. It won't happen again.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, I mean, so Jimmy sees him all disheveled and messed up. Also knows that he's seeing a psychiatrist. And then, so Howard leaves and he's like, jeez.
Waste of water, by the way.
Yeah, and then Jimmy throws away the Post-it note. Yeah, he kind of just threw it in the trash.
Yeah, no. He walks over and he rips it up into like 4 or 5 pieces. Just sprinkles it in there. Just doing the little salt thing, just sprinkles it in there, hits it, and then goes on with his day. He done. He's more than likely going to be lying to her anyway that he's going. And she's going to find out that he's not actually going because she'll run into the psychiatrist and be like, so how's Jimmy doing? Jimmy who?
Mm-hmm. Well, Jimmy could lie and be like, oh, she can't tell you those things. She can't even say that I'm seeing her.
That's true. That is true. You're right.
Confidentiality.
You're fucking poking holes in all of my theories.
Oh, I like poking holes in you. Poking them holes. I like poking the holes.
So he ends up going upstairs to we're just gonna say like his parole officer, and he goes on a bit of a tangent when asked what his future plans are.
I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a good one. I'm going to have lots of clients. I'm going to win them all. Yeah.
So you're going to be a lawyer. Okay, I got it. Sure.
Yeah, if you put it that way.
Like first off, he's a dick because he's making Jimmy wait. He went to go fucking take a shit, wash his hands, take a half hour to ask him 3 questions.
Yep.
You're all caught up on your stuff. Good. You're employed. I need to see your bank statements on that one. And what do you want to do? He's making him sit there while he goes and takes a Kaduki. Asshole.
Yep. Or while he's talking to Steve Carlton. In the subtitles, another guy.
Did it?
Yep. There's the subtitles like, hello? Yes, this is Steve Carlton. Like the guy forgot his name.
Oh, the subtitle guy is having so much fun with his job right now. That guy's name's not Steve Carlton. That's my cousin's name. And my cousin is all-state in football, Nib High football. They rule. And I'm going to make everybody know when he scored 4 touchdowns.
Polk High.
That's
That's Polk High Steppers. That's the name of my fantasy team.
Is it?
Yep. One of them.
Oh, you're in multiple ones this year, huh?
The other one is She Took My Defense.
You're such a loser. Oh, mine's just Jimmy's team.
The other one is Stonehands. It's from Necessary Roughness. Like, don't throw it to Stonehands.
You're on 3 different teams?
Yeah. It was unexpected. I only thought I was going to be on 2. And then somebody made another one. I'm like, all right, whatever.
I'd need to go into my family gathering and be like, here's the $20. See you guys at Christmas because I ain't going to win this one. But so anyway, he goes on that little bit of a rip, and you can tell just because he's definitely bringing up CC Mobile's game as far as sales. That ain't where he wants to be.
Yep.
But it's all clearly for his gain anyway,
So he's not going to see a shrink, but he's saying he wants to be a lawyer. Do you think he's being honest? I mean, well, obviously we know he eventually does become a lawyer, but he basically becomes a criminal lawyer, you know. So
I think so. I think it's twofold. One, in a weird way, it's because he wants to honor his brother and stay true, and two, it's to spite his brother because he worked his ass off for that degree and he wants to use it. Now he's unfortunately going to use it in the only way he knows how, and that's to be crooked. So
do you think like, so he was like honest about what he said to the parole officer?
Yes, I do.
And then the parole officer crushed his dreams just by saying, "Oh, a lawyer." And that's the moment that Jimmy became Saul.
Is that it? Is that it? You drawing the line in the sand right there? That's when it was.
He's like,
is that where Jimmy fucked him?
Yeah.
That's where Jimmy fucked him?
Ted.
Or Ted. Damn it.
Tim's going to listen and he's going to be like, what? Who's fucking me?
I fucked that joke up. Oh, what a loser I am.
That's the moment Steve Carlton fucked Ted. Yeah, man. That's it for the episode.
What'd you think
about this whole episode?
Yeah.
To be honest, it was okay. I didn't, I guess, dislike it, but like I really wasn't that into it. There was just a few things that I thought were missing. A couple scenes that went a little long, but I kind of like that in this show too, you know. So I'm not like complaining in any way whatsoever. Like, definitely wasn't bad, but I think there was just a little bit of something I was missing. I don't know what. So
it was Nacho. That's what was missing.
I guess, yeah.
You miss Nacho. he's posted up at Daddy's all hurt, so
yeah,
we don't need him for this episode.
Maybe I've been watching a show too long that doesn't have boobs in it.
So your interest is getting lower and lower in the show.
Well, there going to be some boobs.
Well,
I got to make the sex jokes to make the podcast funny.
First episode, you had hard nips, so
yes.
What was that second episode?
I'll have to go back and rewatch that one.
Oh, you're not pervy at all.
No, normal, like everybody else. Everyone's thinking it. I just say it.
I don't think everyone else is thinking it.
Kim should have used that other piece of ice on her nipples.
Oh, God. That's how she turns Jimmy's night around. She's like, she hands him the bag of ice and he's like, oh, it's cold. And she's like, is it? And she's got her gimp arm and she's trying to reach.
Yep.
Can she, I guess she, well, it would be hard to get to the right nipple. Lefty, on the other hand, easy. Yeah, nice. This one's gonna be a little.
Maybe he calls her nipples zebras.
Oh God. It's so weird. The movies that they watch together are so different than the movies that she fucking rented on her own. She rents like dude movies, and he's renting like Casa fucking Blanca.
Yeah.
We should watch this together. After this, Gone with the Wind. No, I want to watch fucking RoboCop.
Yeah.
It's 95. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh shit, this is changing my life." And that's when RoboCop fucked Ted.
Come with me.
If you want to fuck Ted. Mixing up movies right there. I realized as soon as it came out of my mouth, I'm like, yep, you fucked up another one, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, what are you going to do?
I am the guy who fucked Ted. I am the law. Well, that's all I got, Jimmy.
That's all I got, too.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Again, send an email to us at mike@watchersonthecouch.com. Go to the Facebook page, Couch for Watchers, and visit watchersonthecouch.com, onyxedgestudios.com. And on that note, I'm Mike Daffron.
I'm Jimmy Lopez.
And we will see you next week.
Goodbye.